I've been building AI applications for the last 4 years now, and some of them were great, but a lot of them broke in ways that took me way too long to figure out. And looking back, almost all of that pain was avoidable, and so today I want to share with you 5 things that I wish I knew before I started. Here's the honest mistake I still catch myself making. When I'm building, I test with a handful of prompts I already know are nice and clean. The model handles them, everything looks great, and I move on. And because those test cases are good, I never see the real edge cases until the real user hits them. As a quick example, say you've got a feature that summarizes a document. You test it with clean 2-page PDF because you want to save tokens and money. So my rule now is to actively test with inputs I know no one would ever send. Whether it's like total nonsense or input with missing information, let's say, or the input with too much information that you expect model then should like subtract some information from the response, etc., etc. Because someone eventually will send that. And then you handle each way it can break. Like the structured output come back broken, so you should have like fallbacks, retries, etc. Or let's say the input is too long and then your model has to output a lot of tokens and then you hit the timeout. You should also handle that. Or let's say you don't have enough information to provide a good answer for the user, then you should ask them. And this last one is actually huge because a lot of applications just will hallucinate on the answer when you actually can implement guardrails to make sure that you have enough information to answer to the user. And if you're interested, I also have another video about retries. I'm gonna put it somewhere down below. And this one cost me the most time early on. When a normal software breaks, you get a stack trace pointing to the exact line. With non-deterministic systems or like AI applications, it doesn't fail like that. Nothing really crashes, especially if you have like an agent, it just will skip for some reason tool that it was supposed to call, or it calls a tool that it wasn't supposed to call. Maybe it starts reasoning in some weird way and just went off the rails. So you cannot get like the exact stack trace to the exact line where the problem happened. Because when the output is bad, input and output alone won't tell you why. Because you need to see the whole trajectory of the request. You need to see what tools AI called, what it reasoned about, why it decided to call this tool based on the reasoning patterns. And from that you can actually analyze and understand, okay, maybe my prompt, my instructions are leading AI into this direction. So I need to change them. Or maybe the description of the tool is not clear enough, and that's why AI decided to call this tool. And you iterate over and over again until you get the expected result. To make it concrete, let's say your application, your agent, has an ability to search through a lot of documents with RAG. What if the user sends a request and gets the answer that wasn't backed by real document? Where is the bug here? Without the tracing, you have no idea. With it, you can actually walk the trace. So you can see first what was the reasoning of the model before it called tools. Then you can see the exact query that it sent to the retrieval tool. Then you can check the retrieval step, the retrieval tool. Did it even pull the right documents? If not, then the problem is the retrieval or the query, not the model. If the documents were right, but the answer is still wrong, then it means that something is wrong with the prompt or the instructions of your model. And so that's the shift. You go from vibe checking the outputs to actually doing root cause analysis. And the good news is that it used to be painful to implement, but now if, let's say, you're using Master as your orchestration framework, AI orchestration framework, you can implement observability and tracing in like a few lines of code. And if you're using like AI SDK, let's say, there are still a lot of providers and very good documentation around that. So you can basically just ask your model to implement tracing across your application and it just will do it because the docs are really good around it. And I'm also right now working on a dedicated video around observability and evaluation loops, so stay tuned for that as well. This is less a tip and more like a mental shift. Because when you start, AI feels like this black box, like a magic oracle you send a wish to and just pray. But the problem with that picture is that you cannot debug magic. When the output is wrong, there is nowhere to look. And here's the reframe. And it comes from a repo I would genuinely recommend reading, 12-Factor Agents by Human Layer. 2 ideas and they together demystify the whole thing. The same kind of input will result in the same kind of output. So bad outputs almost always mean bad input. And getting better results is all about just giving the model better input. And that's what they call context engineering. And the second one is that the agent is just a loop. Strip away the hype, and an agent is a prompt plus switch statement plus some accumulated context running in a for loop. The model picks the next step, your code runs it, you add the results to the context, and then you loop again until it's done. That's why I don't really like this abstractions around agents, that you have all those like prepare steps, things that happen before each step, after each step, in between steps and stuff like this. Because if you look at the way it is, it's just a for loop. And that's why I really like the idea of BAML. If you never heard of it, it's a programming language for building agents. And I really like how they are making it as programmatic as possible without all this magic. It's just code that you execute. And I'm also gonna make a video about BAML in the near future, because I really like and enjoy this idea of programmatic control over your agents. And once you realize that you control the loop, the next logical question is how much of it the model should even run. Right now there is a huge pressure around making everything an agent, and it's only growing with all those Hermes agents, OpenClaw, Cloud Code, etc, etc. So the premise here is to have this fully autonomous loop where you hand the model a goal and a bag of tools, and you just hope that it will figure out the answer. And here's what took me way too long to learn, is that most of the problems that you are going to solve are not that. Most of it is a workflow, a specific step-by-step process that you can literally draw on a whiteboard. Step 1, then step 2, then step 3. Take a support app as an example. The agentic instinct here is give the model the tools and let it handle the ticket. But in reality, it's just classify the issue, look at the customer's account, draft a reply, check it against the policy, and then send. And you don't need an autonomous agent here. You need to define process with an AI call inside to like draft a reply, let's say. And that's the key distinction here, is that you can absolutely use AI inside of the workflow. What you usually don't need is that hand the entire control flow to the model. And again, that's straight from the 12-factor agent, to keep the control flow inside of your code and call AI only in specific places where you actually need it. And why does this matter so much? Is because first, workflows are much cheaper, they are stable. You can actually trace them much better because you can go back to the step 2 and see what's actually happened there. And simply because it's much cheaper, you don't need to pay for each iteration of the call to the model. So before you reach for the agent, always ask yourself, can I actually draw this step by step? And in most of the cases, you actually can. And this one ties everything together. And it's the one that will save you most of your wasted time. Start with the simplest thing that could possibly work. Usually just one model call, one structured output, a few retries here and there, and just observability, and you're good to go for the first version. And then and only then you see how people are using your product and your AI agent or AI workflow, and then you can see like where it falls short and what you actually need to improve. Because one of the biggest mistakes that I made previously is that I tried to make it as like smart as possible. I tried to add as many sub-agents as possible, to come up with some interesting way to make context engineering, to like manage the context, to the next step you remove that, then you do that. And for most of the cases, you actually don't need that. So the complexity is not the sign that you're doing it right. Most of the time, it's a sign that you reached for the fancy pattern before you tried the boring one that would have worked. So I hope you found this helpful. I'm going to leave all the links in the description. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.